For the Zips Digital Network, Chad Welker here with men's head coach John Gross. And Coach, before we get into the Mid-American Conference up in Cleveland this week, let's first briefly recap the Kent State game, the last game of the regular season, and the Miami game that took place here at James A. Rhodes Arena last night.
Well, I thought in the Kent game and the Miami game we competed. From an effort standpoint, I was very pleased. Obviously our execution was much different in the Miami game versus the Kent game. I thought we made too many mistakes in the Kent game, and certainly down the stretch, things didn't necessarily go our way with some of the things we couldn't control. But all in all, I thought we had our chances throughout the course of the game, especially in the last 8 minutes of the game at Kent. And, give their kids credit. They stepped up and made some plays. But it was a hard-fought rivalry game, as they always are when you play the Golden Flashes. And effort was good again, but execution needed to be a lot better.
Then we go into what you've talked about over the course of the year, how the season has three parts. So you got your non-conference, you start 0-0. You have your conference, you start 0-0. Then one Monday night, part 3, 0-0 against Miami. 17 threes went down. You had to love the fact that the threes were going in, and you got the win. You're surviving and advancing.
Yeah, I was most pleased, obviously, with our defense. Obviously it's great when shots go in, it makes you even better. But our defense was so good. Our defensive efficiency rating was terrific. We were under point per possession both halves. Guys really fought and battled on that end. I thought that we were able to get out in transition, get some easy baskets that allowed our offense to kind of get going, and then we felt good, and then we started making more shots. But it was really spearheaded by our defensive effort, as it has been all year.
Now we move into Thursday, and you head up to Cleveland and Quicken Loans Arena against the number 1 seed Buffalo, who you've played pretty well the first 2 times you played them. What needs to be different for you to get the result that you're looking for?
Well, the glass, first of all, and it's an area where we've talked all year about how we need to improve in that area. It's the one area defensively that is something that we've been working very hard to address. I thought the second chance points opportunities that they were able to secure in games 1 and 2 were difference makers. And then I thought fouling. It's interesting. We're number 1 in the league in fewest fouls, and we take a lot of pride in playing our defense with some discipline and not just hatcheting people. But for whatever reason in those 2 games, and obviously Buffalo puts a lot of pressure on you with dribble penetration, not only in isolation situations but also in ball screens. You're challenged there, but we've got to do a better job there. The free throw differential in both games was too dramatic, and we've got to do a good job of playing our defense without fouling.
And then from a mental capacity, when it comes to seeing that ball, you're in a bigger arena, NBA-style arena, what needs to happen from the mental capacity of, seeing the ball go into the hoop to really get the guys going to start this game on Thursday?
Well, again, it's going to start with our defense. That's what we can control. That's what's allowed us to be competitive in nearly every game we've played all year and given us a chance. So we've got to do that, and then we've got to take good care of the basketball. And then obviously the quality of the shot that we get. And in the Buffalo games, it's really been feast or famine. We've had possessions that are just terrific, or we've had some that have not been so good. So we've got to minimize those possessions that are not so good and get quality shots. Don't give them live ball turnover opportunities to get out and transition with their athletes and their speed and their ability to finish in and around the rim. So, those are to me are the keys. Obviously, are we going to make 17 threes again? I'd like to make more than 17. But, sometimes what you got to be concerned with, I think, as a coach is the quality of the shot that we get. And I think a lot of times our offense, obviously, at least for our team this year, really feeds off of our defense.
And then, Coach, with March Madness and playing in Quicken Loans Arena, the conference is just so competitive this year. We've seen it all year in the regular season. What makes it exciting for people to come to Quicken Loans Arena this week?
Well, obviously, the quality of play. It starts there with the players and the teams. This is a unparalleled year for the MAC in terms of from an analytics standpoint and statistical standpoint. This is the best that the league's been in the analytic era, which is basically right around 20 years. the net rating, the RPI, the strength of the conference from top to bottom, the quality of the players, the coaches. And then I just think the environment. I've always said this even at my previous stop. I just think this conference tournament is first class. The MAC does such a great job of putting on an unbelievable event. I think it's as good as any conference tournament, and I've had a chance to be a part of a lot of them in different venues. But, it's as well ran and put together as anything that I've been a part of. And it's just a privilege. I think it's now, we've been very fortunate here at Akron 15 years in a row to win at least one or more games in 15 consecutive conference tournaments. So, we understand it's a privilege. We don't take it for granted. We're looking forward to competing in the Q on Thursday.
Appreciate the time as always, Coach. And
Thanks,
folks, of course, we want to see you at Quicken Loans Arena on Thursday. Zips battle the Bulls at noon. Make sure you're there at Quicken Loans Arena. You can go on gozips.com/tickets for more information on how you can get your tickets for the second round, the quarterfinals of the Mid-American Conference Tournament. We hope to talk to Coach Gross after some big victories this week, so stay tuned to the Zips Digital Network. Have a great week, and as always, go Zips.